They are absolutely paralyzed and in total panic, especially in Berlin. Can you tell from these statements? Very briefly, you met last night to lament about this country, which is obviously going absolutely downhill, and listen to the whole thing.
The coalition committee of the Union and Social Democratic Party of Germany ended in the evening without any decisions. The goal of the meeting was confidential discussions about the next steps. Afterwards, it was said that there had been a good discussion in areas such as basic security.
So empty-handed that all they can do is have good conversations. Anything else is no longer possible. By the way, back then at the company, we had a joke like that. Yeah, when the salespeople met up right before they were about to be fired. Yeah, we always laughed and said like, yeah, watch out. And then someone would make a comment to try to save face before the next quarterly numbers came in. Someone's about to say, we had good talks. You only ever say that when you don't know what else to do, when you have absolutely no idea what to do anymore to turn things around. Then you come along and say you had good talks. However, where it goes a bit further, and that scares me, it really makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
You with the climate protection program. This program has to be ready by the end of the month. It's about how the carbon monoxide 2 targets can still be achieved by 2030.
Not at all, not in the slightest, puts these targets on the back burner. That would be just as insane if all of Europe started building nuclear power plants now and only Germany said no. That would be irreversible. If we were to do that now, we've all agreed on this, we definitely won't build any more nuclear power plants. It would be just as insane if there were billion-dollar deficits everywhere and you stand in Ukraine and say, hey, we managed to scrape together an extra 200 million for you that we want to give you as a gift, dear friends. That would be just as insane. And if you want to support this channel and say, hey, Sasha makes really good videos, may I ask you to leave me a like and a subscription. YouTube likes to restrict my videos. They don't want you to know the truth. And that's why I would be really happy if you could support this channel a bit. Of course, that's completely free.
How many is it now? 15, not exactly. In 2011, Mrs. von der Leyen was the Minister of Labour and Deputy Chairwoman of the Christian Democratic Union, and back then she passionately advocated for the phase-out of nuclear energy. Thank you.
Many accused me of lying, but von der Leyen was always in favor of us phasing out. Because of, among other things, Fukushima, and they really pushed this forward. By the way, a little side fact. Fukushima is building the largest nuclear power plant the world has ever seen. They must still be pretty shocked by Fukushima. Or maybe they just haven't learned from it while now they're building the newest and safest nuclear power plant that has ever existed. So please, you also hear it from Gunnar Schapelius. I noticed it back then too. I already said back then, get out of nuclear power, only green energy. That's gonna get pretty nasty. Above all, what are all the dealers who work with fossil fuels gonna do then? They definitely won't put up with that. And I had to be right.
The largest cooling tower in Germany was destroyed, and now they're saying it was a mistake. I don't even know what to make of such politics, and I also have no idea what Miss von der Leyen thinks of herself.
I'm asking for a friend. She can think, yes, what do you make of such politics? In my opinion, this kind of politics needs to be voted out. What do you think? Feel free to write it below. Who would you most like to see in the Bundestag in the next elections? I would be really interested to see how many comments I get down below. By the way, let's move on to another topic, also political. Things are pretty heated right now. And that's the issue that just happened in Neukölln. By the way, it's important to note that Neukölln has a left-wing state government. I just wanted to briefly mention that here beforehand, just a quick note.
There is great dismay since apparently neither the staff of the youth club nor the staff of the involved youth welfare office thought it necessary to alert the police. The reason is said to be the religious affiliation of the young men.
We don't have a problem here in Germany. We definitely don't have a problem if a religious group can commit crimes and no one calls the police anymore. Then we don't have a problem here in Germany. Then we have a huge problem. I'm still shocked, but let's keep listening because the situation is about to get even more explosive than it already is.
Then a 17-year-old Turkish Kurdish student reports that she was harassed by several boys in a back room and even claims that she was raped months earlier in the garden of the youth center, but week after week goes by. Neither the social workers at the youth club nor the youth welfare office involve the police.
If that had been a German, just imagine for a moment if that had been the son of an Alternative for Germany member of parliament. Do you know what would be going on here in Germany? Do you know how all hell would break loose? Well, they have a different religion. Tough luck. But it gets even worse. You just heard it. It wasn't one, it was eight people who did this. And now listen to how the youth center reacted to it. And I have to say, guys, and you wonder why we want a change in politics here. Are you seriously surprised?
Yes, the management has now banned one of the suspects from the premises.
One? Yes, not all of them. Just one was banned from the premises. I am deeply shocked when I hear about things like this. Yes, exactly. I send my kids to the youth center. They like going there, they play there, meet other kids. And wow, what kind of conditions are these? Finally, wake up to the fact that Islam is a problem. Wake up there in your Berlin and look at how the left reacted to it. That makes me feel sick.
She explains, "I am shocked by the incidents, the rape of a girl by a male visitor in the garden, the blackmail with videos, and the sexualized violence against the girl."
You can't spit more in this girl's face, can you? Or dear Greens, you can't just spit more in these people's faces, right? She has just gone through the worst day of her life, a day she will never forget, and you just go ahead. And yes, the male visitor. Islam is a problem, and really a serious problem. And well, you can already see that just in this alone. The youth city councillor, a leftist? Yeah, what else can you expect from her? But they have to endure it. No one will care about it. What about the social workers who covered it up? Hopefully they were immediately let go, fired. No, they weren't.
And explains with regard to the youth club, religious affiliation must never be a reason. Wrong, you have to address that with the social workers.
It's a shame about the youth center. This youth center must be closed immediately. The social workers must be fired right away. They have to lose their jobs there. They should never be allowed to enter that facility again. Just think about what happened there. These people have ruined and destroyed the life of a young girl. Yes, who maybe wanted to find her happiness here, who maybe wanted to adapt here in Germany. She had to suffer terribly for it. Yes, her future was destroyed because there are 8 lunatics who abuse a girl like that. Please, the youth center social workers should be dismissed immediately. That's how I see it. I don't know how you see it, but I wouldn't make any compromises there. Zero tolerance for such nonsense.